Now for something completely different. I saw a video of one of these in action on YouTube and I was very intrigued by it. It's a wooden kit of what is basically a steam engine, but it's obviously made of wood. It's designed to run on air, and it actually runs. Apparently you can run it from a balloon. So I did a little bit of digging on this and discovered that these kits are available in the UK. They're actually made by UGears, and they do a whole range of different clipped together wooden model kits. It's laser cut plywood as far as I can tell. UGears is actually a Ukrainian company, which is again quite unusual, but I thought it would be interesting, different something to build. You know, it all helps to fill the time during lockdown. Let's just flip the box around so you can see the bag. There you go. So yeah, I thought we'd give this a go, see if we can put it together and get it running. I also had an idea when I was looking at this and researching it. I thought it would be quite interesting if we could build a small air pump to power it, which we run off of a steam engine. Anyway, that's for the future thing. But let's get this box open and see what's actually inside this kit. Well, once you get it open, there's not actually too much to it. There's a very comprehensive set of instructions. I'll open these up so you can have a look. Very much along the lines of Lego instructions, very similar, very good pictures. You can see exactly what goes where. Apparently no glue is required. You just push all this together. So you've got the instructions. There are 2 sheets of laser cut parts, which obviously have to be pressed out. There's a little, I think that's wax. I think there's a little stick of wax there, and a whole load of individually wrapped, well, I'd call these cocktail sticks. I don't know what other people would call them, but there you go. And a little square of glass paper, sandpaper, obviously for cleaning up rough edges on the parts. And that's really about it. So it's just a matter of following the instructions and removing the parts from the wooden formers. Well, the parts certainly seem to remove from the main former fairly easily. That's one of the first parts you need. I'm going to attempt to get out this larger part here. I think if you're careful with this shouldn't really prove to be too much of a problem. I have to remove this piece from the center here. Yeah, they as you can see, yeah, so it all seems to come apart fairly easily. So hopefully the disassembly of the parts from this main sheet, the main sheets won't be too difficult. So I'll get on and do the first few bits I need, and we'll try putting it together. The first set of the instructions call for this part and these small parts here and this small part here to be inserted into the various square lugs on here. Now, what I will say is all the parts are numbered, so that's good, so that's easy to follow, but you have to be very careful when popping the small parts out from the sprues and that, because what tends to happen if you're not careful is a little bit of the one layer of the plywood will flake off, so that definitely needs to be noted, shall we say. So basically we've got 5, which goes in here, it goes in that hole there. So yeah, obviously it's got to get lined up correctly to get in, but yes, there we go. Right, so that's that one there, and then these 2 small parts, there's 2 of these, they go in according to the diagram. They go in from this side like that. There we go. So you can see how it goes together, and basically there's just a hell of a lot more of this. So I'm going to persevere and I'll bring it back when I've done some of it. Okay, well, I've put the first few bits together, as you can see. It seems to go together quite well. It's quite tight. You have to use quite a bit of force to press these parts together, but then I guess that's good because obviously there's no glue involved, so you want the thing to stay together once it's actually done. So I'll keep going and I'll bring you back again in a little while. Well, this seems to be the base, as far as I can tell. Now we apparently move on to the cylinder, which is a sandwich of various different parts. So that's the next stage. Well, we moved on to the cylinder, and the instructions tell you to, well, you can see that, cut one of the cocktail sticks in half and push it through the top, these top two holes here, and then cut it off with a knife. Well, the cocktail sticks are very tight in these holes, so I found it a lot easier than pushing them through to use one of these and then simply tap them through with a small hammer, and that was a lot easier than trying to push them through. And it also shows you cutting off the excess on the other side with a knife. Well, it's a lot easier to use a pair of wire cutters if you've got them. Just chop them off flush and then sand them down with a bit of sandpaper. So anyone who's building one of these are my recommendations as I go through this. Okay, right, moving on. Now, this is interesting. As you can see, the cocktail sticks go through these holes. According to the instructions, you're supposed to push these through the holes. Well, I couldn't. 90% of those would not push through. So what I ended up doing was just chopping the point off of one end slightly and then tapping them through with a hammer, and even that was difficult. Some of these I had to open out with a very small drill just to get them to go through. So yes, it's not quite as easy as the instructions would make out. Okay, so the main part of the engine, the cylinder with the valve and the piston, is together. That was not easy. That was quite difficult to put together. The parts are very tight on the cocktail sticks that go through the middle. I ended up having to use parallels to drift the parts together because they were so tight. So be warned and take care when doing it. So onward. Well, this is how far we've come so far. And it's coming together slowly but surely. But these are quite difficult to put together. I won't say that they're easy. There's quite a lot of force required, and you've got to be very careful not to break any of the parts when you put them together. But hopefully we won't break anything, and it will work when it's finished. Well, there's the finished article. Certainly turns over freely enough. Whether or not it'll actually run, I'm not sure. I have to get a little compressor connected up to it and see what happens. Oh, does the little engine run? Well, let's give it some air. And it does amazingly run, and that's literally a few pounds of air pressure. There's a lot of leaks though, which is unsurprising because it's made of wood, you know, but it is running. So now I need to get a little air compressor that I can run off of a steam engine to power this. So that's the UGears aero engine, which works amazingly. Let me turn the compressor off. Yeah, I'm quite impressed with that. I modified it slightly. I made a little adapter with a pipe on it so that I could attach the compressor, because obviously this is designed to have a balloon neck put over it to run it. But yeah, it's not a bad little engine actually. So it's quite difficult to put together, but it's worth persevering with it. And yeah, it seems to work quite well. So hopefully we can power that from a steam engine at some point via another air compressor. Let's turn my compressor back on again. There we go. Isn't that amazing? Anyway, there you go. That's the UGears little aero engine, and hope you've enjoyed the little video. Thanks very much for watching. Cheers.